All right. So the way we do this, I guess we're just kind of figuring out how we're going to be doing this over the winter. Um, we have a small queue of people who want to show some stuff that they found this week, like regular mushrooms, just out mushrooming like we always do. Um, and then when we get through that, we're going to get into the jelly fungi that we wanted to talk about. And there was a long list of people that have stuff to share there. So we have a lot of stuff to look at. So we probably do need to, make sure we share the time. Um, if when we're talking, if somebody could just volunteer to type in the names of the mushrooms into the chat function, the chat screen, that way we can all, all get it'll be easier for us to, see and hear what we're talking about sometimes. All right. So with all that being said, Marisol, you want to jump in with what you found this week? Is Marisol still here? I don't see her actually. Maybe she fell off.
Yeah. I sent you an email.
No, I don't recall seeing any emails.
It was at 7. Last second, yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'll skip over that for a minute because I have to go find that. Mintari?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna share screen. You see my screen?
We see you.
You don't see my screen?
Nope.
I share the screen. You don't see my screen?
No, not yet, Mintari.
Oh, it's up and I press share and is it up now?
No.
No? That's
Sorry.
weird. Well, I don't know what else to do because I already shared my screen. And you see it now?
Nope, nothing is sharing.
Hold on 1 second, please.
So are you trying to share your computer screen, or are you trying to go to a iNaturalist or something?
Yes. Okay, so I got help from a young person, my son.
Oh, there you go.
So here is, thank you, Jason. I found this in Florida, in the Gulf Coast area. So it looks like, what do you call that? Spore mushroom.
It looks like a polypore.
Polypore, right. Jake, why am I supposed to go to the next picture? Hold on 1 second. There's like 3 pictures. Where's the rest? Oh, maybe next. There. Yeah, it's polypore, right?
Some type of polypore. I don't really know mushrooms from the Gulf Coast very well. Actually, that looks like a Trametes. Trametes lactinea, maybe.
If it was an hirsute, it could be lactinea. Yeah. Was it like hairy on the top, Mintari?
What? I can't hear you.
Oh. Was it hairy on the top?
Was it hairy?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, okay. So it could be
not hairy.
Lactinea. Look.
Uh-huh.
That's what I would guess. But again, I don't really know Gulf Coast mushrooms very well, so.
Oh, okay.
There could be other things too. They seem like they have more polypores when you get down in the subtropics. That's a good place to start.
Yeah. This is medicinal mushroom, right, Luke?
Oh, I can't speak on medicinal mushrooms at all. I don't know anything about medicinal stuff.
Okay. So this is No, I think I'm going to the next one that is not I did not find this week. So I think that's all I have to share.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Mintari.
You're welcome.
Okay. So Marisol, in your email that you sent me,
The last one, the Calostoma lutescens.
Oh, you want to look at that? Okay.
That one because somebody asked me to show it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. No?
Wait, I did see it on my phone. I'm not seeing it on here now.
I called them jelly fungi. I saw it. I saw the message.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
This one.
The last one. Yeah. Okay. On Saturday, we went to the Pine Barrens with Nina, John, Kiara, and Liz. And when we did a big loop. We found all sort of interesting things and also common ones. And when we were coming back to the road, John spotted this Calostoma lutescens, and there were so many of them. And I took a lot of photos to show you that at the beginning, the fungus is covered with an orangish, but I'm sorry, with an orangey layer that it peels off and is at the bottom of the ball at the center. See, it rolls up. No, look, return to the one before. Right there. At the bottom of the ball, that is the lower ball, there are these orange things rolled up. They were covering initially the post ball. I do not know the function of it yet. And this one is different from the Ravenelli because the long stem, spongy stem that it has. And we saw that the spore print, the spores are whitish. It puffed some white cloud. So somebody was wanted to see this. It was really, really abundant. On the ground, near pine trees and oaks.
All right. Okay, I saw your pictures.
Thank you.
All right, cool. All right.
By the way, I just wanted to say calostoma means beautiful mouth. So I guess the orange color is where that comes from.
Awesome.
Cool.
Calostoma. That's neat.
What a name.
Yeah. All right,
They
Evan.
look like they have on lipstick.
Yeah.
Go. So did you want to take a turn, Evan? Did you have something that you wanted to work on, an ID thing you wanted to work on before we get into the jellies?
Yes. While on a hike, I was coming across a couple of pack of mushrooms that seemed to be related to beefsteaks, or maybe, let's see. This is one of two that I found. I've been having trouble figuring out the proper identification. I am relatively new to the mycological association, so please bear with my lack of knowledge on some things.
Sure.
I know it.
Is that on locust?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You say it. Yeah.
You say it.
Okay. Is it Fomitopsis or Fomitiporia? It used to be Felinus robinia. Felinus robinia is the old name. Robiniae. All right. So it only grows on locust, black locust. And the black locust, you can know it even when it doesn't have leaf because the bark is kind of in obliquous. How do you say that? Sideways. The texture is like sideways. And this polypore only grows on that tree, and it presents a cracked cap, and is kind of brown mustard, the pore surface.
Hmm.
And it can grow really, really huge.
They were quite large when I came across them. One of them, I think, was on another tree was about half a foot in radius.
Yeah. I read somewhere one time that they grow like 5 millimeters per year.
Really?
Wow.
But yeah, I read that, but
So they last all year round. That's wow.
I found
Excellent.
one. I found one in Smithfield that measured 42 centimeters.
Hmm.
On a huge black locust.
Susan, did you say Ramosa?
I was just going to say Felinus, but Robinii if it is on locust, but
Yeah.
you need Dorothy for the sort of the separations that we use. I forget where the key came from. One
Yeah. I was saying, because there was an old name for it, Felinus ramosa, which means crack.
Oh, that could be. That could be.
This is, I mean, they definitely call it Robinii now. But I learned, when I first learned it, it was called, I saw the name Ramosa somewhere, and it said because it's always cracked on the caps like that.
Evan.
Mm-hmm.
And Robinia is the species, is the genus name for the tree.
Ah.
Or the species, one or the other. That's why this polypore takes after the name of the tree.
Oh.
Answering
Thanks.
Bianca's question about why do they change the names, in this case, the genus was changed probably because DNA data showed that this polypore should not be placed in genus Felinus because it's not really related to Felinus from an evolutionary point of view.
So the name is Fomitoria or Fomitopsis? Fomitoria? Fomitiporia?
I
don't
forget.
remember. Something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still remember it as Felinus, and I hardly ever find it because we don't have much locust up here. I find it in Maryland, actually.
We have a ton of it down here in central Jersey. And I have to say, if you're going to look it up in a book, look under Felinus, because that's where it's going to be unless you have a really new textbook. Even I think Baroni's still listed as Felinus.
You know, here in Philadelphia, I used to see a ton of it all the time. Fulvifomes Robinii. That sounds right.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds right, Audrey.
Thank you.
Here in Philadelphia, there used to be tons of it everywhere in the parks. In the past couple of years, it's all been disappearing, and I suspect that people think it's medicinal, and they're just breaking them all off the trees.
Ooh.
So now I only see the ones high up in the trees anymore.
Yeah. Hopefully, no one got sick just from thinking that, because oof.
I doubt that it's toxic, but I don't know if there's any merit to it being medicinal. I think people sometimes assume that any of those brackets are medicinal.
It is a pine mushroom, and we find a lot of it here in York.
Yeah, it does seem to be pretty common as long as people aren't breaking them all off the trees.
Yeah. Like there have been quite a few other mushrooms. I don't know if you're seeing the one I'm sharing now, the brown red ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's the second one. This definitely resembles reishi mushroom, which is highly regarded for its medicinal properties. It was actually called the herb of immortality by ancient China, but the one thing I learned is that there are two primary different types. One of them is considered a godsend to in the realm of medicinal mushrooms, and the other one is just so-so. Like, okay, you can make a tea with it, but it won't really grant you so many health benefits as much as the second. And I keep forgetting what the exact difference is that allows you to tell the two apart.
Well, here in the New Jersey area, we have 5 different species of Ganoderma. So there's more than just 2.
Well, 2 primary ones used in the medicinal, like are regarded as medicinal, but like one is choice or prime, and the other one's just like sort of healthy.
And they're in China.
Yeah, they're in China too. Like, so we have our own species. That's a good point, Kay.
But also somebody just divided them all up within the last year or two, made a whole new key of sorts of worldwide species, I think. I don't remember who that was, but you guys who pay more attention should know who that is.
Matt Schenk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to know the kind of wood that would be helpful. There's wood in there. There's wood under the ground there someplace, a stump or something.
Yeah, it was growing around a root structure.
It looks like Curticeae.
Yeah, Curticeae would be my guess. Yeah, I'd find Curticeae like that sometimes, growing, seems almost terrestrial.
Yeah.
It's from roots or stump or whatever.
And what I learned, I read this somewhere that the real, what's the Chinese name?
Reishi.
Reishi, the real reishi is from China, and it doesn't happen in the US, but they have found some in California because of the many Chinese people that came to California.
Yeah, I have heard stories that a lot of immigrants brought this with them, either to use for themselves or maybe in the hopes of starting like an American-based medicinal mushroom business, like an independent. Some may have taken root, but you know, agricultural issues.
Well, these are saprobes. They might be parasites at first, but they're saprobes. They grow on wood that's either dying or dead. So you can probably, they're probably not that hard to cultivate. In fact, I know that they sell kits. You can grow them at home.
All right.
They call them all Ganoderma lucidum when they sell them, but that might not always be true. My understanding is Ganoderma lucidum only occurs in Great Britain, which is kind of odd because it's the tradition is Chinese for using it as a medicinal. Also, from what I understand, chemical analysis of the varnished Ganodermas has not shown that much of a difference between ludicum or ludicum, Curticeae, tsugae. So it's a lot of this listing as a choice medicinal is just folk. It's folk knowledge. So you might want to take that with a grain of salt. I have made tea out of Ganoderma tsugae, which is really common on hemlock in my area. It gives me an upset stomach, so I don't use it. My wife made tincture, double extract tincture out of Ganoderma tsugae. And that I can tolerate. You just take a few drops and put it in water or tea or something. I don't know if it's doing me any good, and I usually forget to use it anyway. So
I think Michael Kuo has the recipe in his book for both the double extract and the single extract, and I think he says to take it for 3 months on, 3 months off.
All right, guys, I'm gonna jump in here and get us back on track. Okay. Do you have anything else you want help with identification on, Evan?
Well, that's it for now.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then let's see here. Oops. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, let's get into the jellies now, since I think that's what a lot of people are here for, right? So let's see. Let's just do some quick reading before we started here. I pulled up Michael Kuo's page on jelly fungi, and he has kind of a good page. It's not a whole lot to it on here. He just points out in here that jelly fungi right here are diverse and complicated, belonging to several groups within the basidios. The basidios are mostly what we're looking at here tonight. He points out that the species often hinge on microscopic examination, but I think we can identify a lot of them without getting into too much microscopy. But it is good to remember, though, as he's pointing out right here, it belongs to a bunch of different groups within the Basidios. So it's not like we're looking at one specific genus here. In fact, if we go down and look at his list, I always find his list to be interesting. He even has some ascos in here, and then these are, they're kind of all over the place. Auricularias, I think, are pretty far apart from the Dicryomycitalis stuff. So I think we have, I was looking through the people's list too that they have, that they want to look at, and there's a lot of these mushrooms in here. So we might as well just start looking right at these mushrooms, right? Susan, you want to jump in there?
Me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can remember how to do this. Hold on. I'm going to show you something that is probably a little unusual, if I've done this correctly. Oh, crap. I think I have to start again. All right.
Nope, it's working.
Oh, is it? Okay, are you seeing a kind of a funny brown jello-y thing with a black disc in the middle?
You sure are.
Yeah, I see it too.
Yeah, this is Sarcosoma Globosum. It's a snow melt mushroom that starts when the snow melts, which up here is around April. Now, let me just get rid of this. One of my favorite mushrooms. And the interesting thing about these is that they're sort of filled with watery, jello-y kind of stuff. And this is very soft. If you poke them, they actually deflate like a water balloon. But they're an ascomycete. This is the spore-bearing surface. And the interesting thing to me is that I can start looking at them, say around the 1st of April, and they can still be there as they spread out on the top, throw their spores, and then collapse and eventually turn into a potato chip like flat nothing over about 5 to 8 weeks. So they're very interesting to watch.
How big are these? How big are these?
Oh, I didn't pull up another picture. These are
pine needles, right?
Pine needles, yeah, it's 2 inches across, maybe. This is maybe 2 inches across, okay. About 2 inches. They can get to 4 inches across. And this little guy here, he's maybe 1 inch across. What's is to watch them when I first see them around the 1st of April, about the size of a quarter, and then to watch them to see if they do become 4 inches, or some of them, they seem to grow a lot at first, and then they sort of sit there, and they can actually freeze solid and then still grow after they thaw out. They're the weirdest things, but I've had quite a lot of fun watching them over about the last 8 years.
Do we get those in New Jersey? I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Well, I was going to ask that. These are way, way, way before the Morels. And since you guys don't get a lot of snow, I'm not sure that you would get them. The association up here is with Norway spruce. So I don't know if that's significant or I don't, there are some ascos that are mycorrhizal, I think.
Lacey was asking the geography of them. So these are in the Adirondacks, right?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. I moved here quite a while ago, and
Susan, I don't think we don't have that on our list. So we have the club has never recorded it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm assuming, John. Like I said, I'm showing this mostly because it's the funnest thing, and it's also, this is just weird.
Oh, it's very interesting.
And it's also listed as, but I think it might be a case up here if they're just plain not documented. They're just plain not known how far or wide. And in the case of where I find them, they're in the exact place within 10 feet every year when I see them. I have like 4 sites that I walk into near me, and along the same trail, which is all mature Norway spruce. So anyway, that's the most interesting thing I have.
There's probably not that many people out looking at that time of the year either.
Well, that's
I
why
never
I'm
look
mentioning
under
it.
conifers early in the spring.
That's why I'm mentioning it, because it was early for something I wanted to visit, and I thought, well, just 15 minutes into the woods and 15 minutes out, and I stumbled on these, and it was April 12th, I think, the first time I saw them, which for here, that's 5 weeks before the Morels come up. So, it's quite quite early, and it is a snow melt thing. I know that for sure. But anyway, they're interesting. I have other mushrooms, but I don't know how to go to the next one.
May I add something to this, please?
No, sorry, I have another mushroom. I just have to figure out how to get to it.
I just wanted to say a couple of words about Sarcosoma. It is a very desirable mushroom in Russia. I watched a lot of videos in Russian about that mushroom. It's very popular. And they eat it raw. They just break it in the woods and drink that juice from inside. And they say if you put it in your face, your wrinkles will disappear within half an hour. Susan, may I join you when you collect them? Can I come? Can I visit you?
Well,
I'm not worried about wrinkles. I just there's a lot of research has been done in Russia about that mushroom, and they say it's a very promising medicinal mushroom.
Now that's really interesting because that doesn't surprise me. Can you see the next one yet?
Yes.
This is the Tremella foliaceae. That's very interesting to me that, there it is. Okay, Sarcosoma again. I actually count them. I've kept track of them for the last 8 years, and I count them. And you know, there was a spot this year that I had over 100 in the same general area, and all different sizes. They were there for about 5 or 6 weeks. So, you know, that's why I suspect they're not that rare, but they're so weird and they come out so early that they're not well known. So anyway, now let me just, there's some other things I could show you. Now let me, I'm afraid I don't know well enough how to.
We can see your
You can see it.
Your
The
tremella.
tremella. Yeah, well, I actually wanted to show you something else. Let me see if I can get it up.
You try to write arrow on your keyboard, it might work.
Yeah, I tried that and it didn't work. All right. Are you seeing a funny kind of whitish beige blobby thing on a piece of birch?
Sorry, just your tremella.
Oh, it's just the tremella. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I'm not handy enough at this. So maybe I should just quit doing this.
Well, Susan, you're always welcome to email your photographs to me if you would like.
Yeah, I have to get better at how to go from one thing to the next because I actually have quite a few, but I'm not good at.
It seems kind of clunky in here when you're trying to do it, looking at photographs on your computer. I've noticed a lot of people having trouble with that.
All right, is there anything up now? No, because I think I stopped sharing. Okay. No, let somebody else do it because I'm getting too confused with this. But that was the best one I have anyway that I wanted to show you.
All right. Okay, we're going to look at Maricel's stuff then.
By the way, did anyone read Maricel's entry into the Journal of Mushrooms? I forget the name of the species, Maricel, you can remind me. It's something I never found before. It's kind of a weird puffball with a thick skin that splits apart.
When?
I just got the Journal of Mushrooms in the mail the other day, and you've got there's like a 4-page article that you wrote with complete with lots of really nice illustrations.
See, Misenastrum corium.
Yeah, that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whose magazine is it? Is it the Leon Chernoff's magazine?
Yes, Leon Chernoff's. Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, you ready, Maricel?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, you guys see my screen, right?
See, Tricaptun of North America.
It looks like a chart.
Oh, wait a minute. No, don't ignore that.
That's what we're seeing.
That's what I've been doing all week.
Ooh,
that's not my chart. Somebody sent that to me.
Nice.
There you go. The Chronopinex elegans.
Yeah, can you make it bigger, please?
Yeah, I'm just, so you guys
I'm sorry.
take a second. You guys can see
the
name there. Okay.
Okay, so I have found this several times only in Amico Island and only in wood that is at the beach or on the beach. I don't know the right word. And this wood is always the corticated, but I think it's deciduous wood because there are no conifers in Amico Island. And this Dicryomycitalis elegans is no, but we're right. The fruiting body is like rubbery. It's a little harder than a regular jelly mushroom. And if you try to cut it, boy, it's like cutting a piece of hard rubber, but it still is flexible. And it always appears like in troops. And it forms these little caps with a long foot or stem. I mean, the name fits the fungus because it looks very fancy, elegant. This one look a little like darker in color. I think is the weather. The thawing and snowing, and then it's windy and then it rains, so it's too much going on them. But you can see the new ones are a little lighter.
When are these from, Maricel?
In Amico Island.
No, when?
Oh, this is last week.
Oh, okay, because I find these in the summer too.
Oh, it's because I don't go there in the summer. That's what happens. I only go when we don't have more forays.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's always like in huge trees. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't there another one called Spatularia? Or
yeah, I have it too. Yeah, I have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you tell the difference? You know?
Morphologically, you can tell. This one has a cap. Spatularia is flat.
Let's look at that one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Chronopinex Spatularia.
Mm-hmm. And the color is different too.
The color, yeah.
See,
Sure.
I don't know if I only have.
I thought color. Yeah, that's. I thought so.
Oh, yeah, I only have one photo, but I'm sorry. But if you could see, oh yeah, you could. There is one towards the right where you can see that it has like a central stem. No, go a little bit towards the center. Go towards the center.
This one?
Right there, perfect. It has a stem that is very flat, and it is even has some kind of wrinkles. A little bit like a trumpet mushroom, a little bit like that. You have to look with the lens. And it's a little whitish inside the wood, and sometimes it has a long stem hidden in the wood. I have found this one on fences, on parks, and also in some of the forays that we do around where I am. Seems very common.
This is very common in the Adirondacks on conifer wood. And it kind of poofs up, throws its spores, and then it'll shrivel up till you almost don't see it. And then if it rains again for any length of time, it'll poof up again and be just as you see it here.
Mm-hmm. And you find them many times like popping out of a crack. As you can see in this picture, they are all aligned in one crack. I haven't done a spore deposit yet. I don't know that.
Yeah, supposedly it's really hard to get spores off of jellies because they dry up on you so quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you carry around little plastic pots with lids.
Yeah.
And put some moss in with it or bits of the wood if it's rotted enough. And then just lay it out on paper as you would a cap when you get home. It makes a beautiful yellow spore print when you're not paying any attention to it.
So these ones are also, aren't they? They're the ones with the two-forked basidia. They look like tuning forks.
Oh, Dicryomycitalis. Yeah, I have another example to show you that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one too.
Dicryomyces does that too.
Yeah. Right.
So you have the Mexarium Nucleatum.
Oh, geez. Wait, look. The first one is the one with them. But it won't work. I don't know how to get to that.
I know what to do.
Yeah, please. It was giving me troubles. That's the one that I wanted to show mostly. Beautiful. So we went to the Franklin Parker Preserve, the Pine Barrens, and with Nina and John and Kiara and Liz, and I found these in 2 different locations, and they were very tiny, like less than a centimeter wide, but I saw them and I was surprised because they kind of look like a baby Exidia crenata, but I didn't know. And the color was exactly like what you're seeing, pinkish and fleshy. So I brought them home and I put them on the slide in the night, and the next day I got a cool spore print and it was white. And oh my goodness, when I did the micro, the spores were gigantic. I cannot believe how big they were. And also this is the basidia. So it was humongous too. So this basidia is it was very long too. It has 2 stigmata that are really fat. This makes this fungus belong to the Dicryomycitalis, like Dicryomyces, yeah. And these fat arms, stigmata, will narrow at the tip, and then you will see the spore growing out at the ends. Only 2 spores. I posted, can you show the last photo?
I think you're trying to say Dicryomycitalis.
Oh, okay.
Dicryomycitalis, Y-shaped basidia.
Oh, because I found the name Seae, something Seae at the end, but it's okay. Yeah, thanks. Can you show the last photo of this? Okay, this is not exactly belonging to that species that I found, but I just wanted to show you more clearly what I am saying. So the spores are the same shape like the ones on the top, not below, and the basidia is the one like a tuning fork.
That's right.
You can see there, yeah. And you can see how the spores develop at the end. So this one, nobody seems to know what it is, and one person who maybe is administrator of the Dicryom jelly site, he's from Spain. He asked me for a sample, so I'm going to send it to him, and he's going to do the DNA. So that's really, really cool.
So to clarify for anyone who didn't understand what this stuff was, usually on most of the mushrooms that we're looking at here, they're basidios, they have these structures called basidia, and usually they're more club shaped with like little spikes off the tips of them. And usually they have 4 spikes, and that's where the spores actually come out of. But this particular group have these bizarre structures that people say they look like tuning forks, and the spores come out of these little tips right there. So, all right, any questions about this one? There you go, Dicryomycitaceae. All right then. So then we're going to go on to the Mexarium Nucleatum.
Okay, so this one is very small. Yeah, not too big. But this one that you're seeing in this photo was really, really tiny. And as you can see, in the photo is not great, but you still can see these concentrations of matter, and you can see these white spots. I did the micro, and it's crystals or minerals. It's accumulation of minerals or crystals. And it's kind of it is transparent, yeah. They were growing, this is a piece of bark, and under the bark, yeah. They were growing under the bark.
If you crush this in your fingers, Marisol, you can feel these little white things, right? Like little granules.
I don't know that, but probably because they're made out of crystals. It's harder than the other part of the fruiting body that is jelly.
Yeah, when you crush it, you can feel it feels like just like little granules inside the jelly.
Oh, okay. I did the micro, but I don't have any photo, but it's the same thing. It's the forking. No, I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure about the micro of this one, but I did it. I don't have any photos. Okay.
What are the crystals made out of? What are they crystals of?
Matter, like mineral. I don't know, like
or whatever, you know.
Like
I don't know the answer to that either. I know there's a lot of different mushrooms that do have like crystals in them. I'm not sure, like, what am I trying to think of? The white crust that we always see on the cedar trees. What is that?
Dendrothele?
Yeah, dendrothele. Dendrothele always has crystals in them. Glioporous, often that polypore often has crystals in it. But I don't know what the function of that is.
Yeah.
Do these have crystals in it, I wonder?
Which one?
Your next one.
I don't know.
I never heard of this one.
Yeah, okay. I found this one. If we was dry, you wouldn't see it unless you knew that there was something there. This one is a little wet. When it's not wet, it disappears from the view. And it's gelatinous. It's a crust, fungus, I'm sorry. And the micro is really beautiful. I found it around here. And then I took a sample to a nymph, one of the nymphs, and some people work there with fancy microscopes, and it was identified as the name that appears here.
So is it all of this stuff?
Yeah,
like
it's a gray. It's a
like
gray
a sheet. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's very thin and and when you wear it, it's more gelatinous. And this is the micro. It has a very special basilia that is called Ero Penduculate Basilia. It's like a ball, and it divides when it's older. You can see on the drawings there.
Yeah, see, these basidia differ from the ones in the Dicryomycitalis group because these have the septate basidia.
It's called heterobasidia. The ones that don't divide is called homobasidia, and the ones that are divided, heterobasidia, I think. And it has all these weird structures in the like dendroiphidia at the end, these kind of twisted forks, and also this the letter D with some incrustations on the tips.
Another word I've heard for that called is transversely septate.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Transversely septate basidia. That's cool. I've never even heard of that species. They just look like slime on the wood, huh? Nice. Okay. Last. Oh, we already looked. Yep, we already looked at that one.
I'm done.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Marisol. Thanks for sharing. Okay, then I'm going to jump into my group because I had a Dicryomycitalis too that I wanted to share. Just bear with me. Okay, so I had these Dicryomycitalis elegans that we were just looking at that Marisol had. I find them sometimes. So this one, I found this one in September. This was a number of years ago. But I did a lot of microscopy on it because I really didn't know what it was when I found it. It really took me a lot of work to figure it out. I found these in Fort Washington State Park, right on the Delaware River. So that's what they actually look like when I photographed them. If you look at them. So like the little caps on them with these like really hairy stipes. So there's one of the basidia. See, it's an immature basidia, but it's just got the tuning fork look going to it. But one of the things that Michael Quope uses on here is like looking at how the hairs react in KOH. So these are like the hairs that are on the stipe. And he has a lot of this on his website. When you put KOH on them, they have this like brown look to them. There we go. more of those hairs when you're up closer. So, and the spores, I think, start out, they can, it said 1 to 3 septa in them, depending on the spores. So there's some more of them before they become septate. So this is a cool one because they are like really densely like rubbery, like Marisol was saying. All right, just have one more photograph of them. I just found these again this summer. I hadn't seen them in a while. So again, September. So I found them in September.
So it looks like they can vary a little in color.
Yeah, I think
Shades
so.
brown through pink.
Yeah, always kind of brownish. Like these are more
Mhm.
pinkish colored, but they're
Brown.
definitely still brown.
With
I think
that
they're
slight
maybe a little
slight-
washed.
hand shape, kind of.
Yeah.
Luke,
And
that's
I
on
think
conifer?
like, I'm
That's
sorry,
on conifer, or was that on hardwood?
that was on hardwood. Like Marisol was saying, always like washed out wood. Like this was like right on a creek. I think I was looking for somewhere to fish this day and actually found these. It was pretty exciting. I always find them like, yeah, like in the creek areas where the wood's really wet. All right. And then these guys I wanted to share, Quapiniopsis Vagina, which I have a really hard time photographing because they're so darn small. But these are little teeny tiny jellies, and I think the name somehow translates to like little tiny trumpets, something like that, something in that line. But these are what they look like. So these things are just a couple millimeters tall, and my picture doesn't really show it very well, but they're usually ribbed under here. They're these little tiny orange stalks with these little cup-like pieces out here. Actually, if I go back into my observations here.
Is that one an ASCO?
No, it's a Basidio.
Okay.
I actually have a better picture in here. I wasn't going to show it because in case Dorothy Smollen was here, she might have wanted to show it, but I don't think, you're not here, are you, Dorothy? I didn't see her. I have a photograph from Mushroom Observer of one that she took that's better shots than mine.
I have some close photos of that too, Luke.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. But I won't spend too much time on it. Is that John Dawson? Are yours from this that Sherman Hoffman Wildlife Sanctuary?
No, they're from here in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, because I remember you and I were there together that day. We saw these. Yeah, this is Dorothy Smollen's photograph, but I'll leave these alone now since John has some. Okay, and the only other one that I was going to share, these don't normally fall directly into the jelly fungus, the Globioporus polypores, but they have those really rubbery jelly-like pores on them. We always find the one called Dicryomycitalis, which is people call the rubber band polypore because when you take the pores, you can stretch it like a rubber band, like super gelatinous. This is one that I found back in the spring called Globioporus Peneopsis. And it wasn't as stretchy, but it was definitely gooey. These pores. So this is, like a macro shot of it. It's just a crust that's growing underneath of a log. See, this one has crystals in it too. See these crystals? That was one of the identifying features of that.
Look,
yes.
They have a layer that is gelatinous. You can show, oh yeah, you have it.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So this is what I was going to show. If you look at this, these are the actual pores. And see how gelatinous they are? And they're stretchy. When you just like any of the other jelly fungi, when you actually pull on it, they actually stretch out like a little rubber band. I don't know if all Globioporus do that. I've only ever found these 2 species, but there are other species around. More crystals and some other stuff. Oh, there's a little springtail eating it.
The little guy.
Yeah, eating away. So anyway, those are my contributions to the jelly fungi. So I'm going to stop sharing. And looks like Kathleen was next.
Just a note, John Dawson, when you speak, I can hardly hear you. If you can turn up your volume. I don't know if anybody else is having that trouble.
Yeah, John's a little bit low on mine too.
No. Okay, can
John-
you guys hear me?
I
Yeah, we
don't
can
do
hear
it.
you.
I can sit
Okay,
closer
I'm
to
just
the phone.
loading up. Now, I'm not sure if some of these qualify as jelly. So please correct me and then we'll just kind of move along. Okay, so can you see that the first picture here in yellow with the, like, it looks like it's a white center. Is that a jelly?
Yes.
Okay, it could be. Did it feel like jelly?
I don't remember. It's, well, what is jelly supposed to feel like? It was like soft and squishy?
Yeah, usually.
Gelatinous.
Yeah, usually we call anything that's kind of gelatinous and rubbery. We call those jellies.
Okay, like Jello. Okay, so then I guess it was.
Like firm Jello.
And actually many ascomycetes are gelatinous. So this is good.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. We'll go through. I'm not sure if this is the same or not. Again, this was a while ago that I took these.
I think this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one, Bisporella, I would say.
The Trina, or whatever it's called now.
And the name is different now, but it's good. Bisporella.
Oh, this is a different name. I thought it was still the same.
Or maybe I'm wrong. I may be wrong. Okay.
But they may have split up a few other species.
I was going to say, I don't even try to guess on these until I do microscopy because it seems like there's so many different ones that look like it.
Yep. There's actually some other genera besides Bisporella that this could possibly be, but that really looks like Bisporella to me.
See, and that's kind of what a lot of these, they kind of like, forgive me, but they kind of look the same except for color a lot of the times.
These are nicknamed lemon cups.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Ascocorny.
That's this reddish, brownish thing?
Yeah, there's two species. You have to measure spores. The two species that look the same, they're purple. Purple jelly drops or something they call them. Ascocorny, one begins with CY and the other one begins with S, I think. Sarcodoides or something.
Yeah, but morphologically they are a little different. One
okay, go ahead.
One forms cups and the other one forms like globose shapes.
Is that what one is?
That's what I have read also, but I've also read that that's not completely dependable. I think Michael Quo. That's not completely. But these fruit bodies look pretty cup-like. Maybe I don't know. Are they glob-like?
See, I kind of thought they were kind of glob-like.
No, I meant like when you squeeze a thick substance from a jar and it comes like in lobes. The other one is like that.
Okay.
The yeah. This one is more like cups.
So would you say concave and what's the opposite of concave? Convex. Would that be the way you describe it? Concave and convex?
No, like the brain, kind of not so wrinkled like the brain, but
lobed.
Jelly drops.
They said lobed. Lacey said lobed.
Jelly drops. I can say
convoluted.
Yeah, convoluted. That's the word. Yes.
Okay.
The other one, the other Ascocorine.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on. Oh, here's another picture of it. These, and I'm sorry to say because they were kind of out of order. I can't remember where I found these. Now, I'm not sure if this is the same. I'm sorry, this isn't the best picture. But I guess some of it looks a little cup-like. Okay, and then this looks different. This is like a different, it's kind of weird how it has that little stem kind of a thing.
This could be the other species.
I'm not even.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, and then
Probably the same genus though.
yeah.
But you can see where it does get a little tricky here, just from the shape.
Mhm.
Yeah. There is a difference in spore size between the two species. There's a pretty significant difference.
Dave, your TV is very loud.
Not mine. I just muted.
Yeah, it's not him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just thought like this is just, it's a weird kind of a shape. So that it kind of looked like, I don't know, like a pig nose or something. Okay,
What
but
references are you guys using to identify these? Is this online reference or a book?
The two species I mentioned are both on Champignon du Québec, I believe.
Yeah, it's really all over the place.
okay, so there's that one that looks kind of the same. And then here's two actually, which I didn't realize. There's a yellow, but then above there's also a white that's more globulous. Is that the word?
The white would be the young stage of probably Tremella.
And then
spores form.
And then it turns to yellow?
Yeah, the yellow is when the spores form on the outer surface.
Oh. So I've always been like,
I think.
If it looks too slimy, I'm afraid to touch it because I touched a slime once and it kind of creeped me out. So I don't know.
So Susan, are you saying, if I understand you correctly, you think this is the same species and one's just immature and the yellow's the more mature?
Yeah, that's what I always learned.
I don't know it like that, but I know that Tremella mesenterica does that. You find whitish and then yellowish together.
Yeah, as it matures, it turns more yellow.
That would make sense.
Yeah, the spores are yellow, so that sounds sensible. Yep.
So Tremella mesenterica.
Okay. The question here. So all of these pictures, all of these, gels or jellies, they look very unusual, right? In general, do you touch these things? Aren't you afraid that they're poisonous?
No. No, you can touch them. Yeah, they're not
To be poisoned by a mushroom, you have to truly ingest it. Although some people have sensitivities to touching things like a chicken mushroom or shiitakes or a skin rash kind of thing. But for real poisonings, you have to actually ingest it.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Susan, there is one in...
If you find mushrooms ooking... Oops, sorry, John.
There is one in Japan that is deadly poisonous to the touch. And there was an article about it in Fungi magazine a few years back. I don't recall the name right off. It's a bright red coral fungus with individual strands.
I did not know that.
And it is poisonous to the touch, and it's a deadly poisonous species.
Wow.
So we need to know if that grows here.
There's also some evidence to suggest that if you handle a whole lot of Amanitas, the ones in section Phylloideae, like Phylloides, for instance, that you could get sick by having toxin come in through your skin. I know that there were some people who were extracting things from Phylloides a few years ago, and they got liquid on their hands and they got sick. So I don't know if that indicates that if you really make it, handle them too much, it could be a problem.
Yeah, like lots and lots. But they were like handling solvents and stuff too.
They also had solvents too, so who knows?
But
By the way, those Tremella mesenterica, they are edible. So for those of you who are grossed out by just touching them, you can actually eat those. I actually tried them once. They're not all that good. So I think I put them in some soup or something. It's basically like having nothing in there.
So I moved this one. I don't know, it's yellow. This looks very cup-like to me. So there's that. And then we get, I think you guys were talking about this one before.
Exidia crenata.
Yes.
It's an Exidia. Yep, probably crenata. Yep.
So
How do you spell that?
I'm sorry?
I'll write it.
It's going to be a different species name in most of the books. Crenata is a relatively new name, maybe the last 2 years.
As opposed to Rosisa?
Yeah, they're the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
Crenata is the new name.
Crenata is the new name?
Yes.
Yeah, starts with C.
Yeah,
I wrote
'cause
both. I wrote both.
Okay, so and now this, I don't
Yes.
know if it's a jelly or not. Is this classified as a jelly?
Yeah, it's rubbery.
Oh, it is very rubbery, and it kind of made me scared how soft it was when I touched it. I was expecting like a more firm, and like the top part, I think I have more. Yeah, let me see. Is it? Yeah, like here, it is so soft. I think this was at Duke actually, and it's so soft. It's like the top part, that fuzzy part, is kind of like a puppy's ear, and it kind of feels like a puppy's ear, except like the underneath is like kind of rubbery.
I think that Dorothy showed that one to us, Auricularia polytrichia, something like that. I don't remember exactly the spelling. It's
Yeah.
kind of purplish.
That's what she called it, yeah.
Polytrichia.
Yeah, polytrichia.
Polytrichia. I wrote it in the chat.
Okay, so then this is something else. This was really kind of interesting. I think I found this one. It might have been at the Princeton Institute Woods.
Yeah,
where
used to
we
grow
had
there.
a walk, but I just kind of did it on my own. So like the outside of it, like that dark brown, is kind of like more firm and like kind of like bumpy. It's kind of like bumpy like bark, but it's softer, if that makes sense.
Galliella rufa is what I learned.
Galliella rufa.
Yeah, it's still that, as far as I know. It's got jelly inside.
Is that jelly? That's sort of that honey mustard?
You have to cut it. Yep. No. The top is kind of rubbery, but if you cut into it, it really does look like jelly.
Yes. Gelatinous. Yep.
When I first
These remind me of the things Susan showed before.
Right, and when I first saw my sarcosomas, I thought, wait a minute, that's what it is, but it's totally the wrong time of year, and the coloration was backwards it was black inside instead of this honey mustard kind of color. And
yeah, and those were bigger, those things you showed, and
right,
maybe a little more robust. And I think Galliella is almost, if not always, then usually on like hardwood sticks.
I think that's what it was.
And it's called the peanut butter cup.
Yeah, I used to see this a lot in New Jersey.
I see lots of this.
Yeah, I see lots of it too.
Oh,
It's a neat mushroom, though.
Yeah, cut into it next time you find it.
Okay, I definitely
It's a little
will.
bit surprising to see the inside.
Okay, I will try to be brave.
Kathleen, when it's little.
All right, Kathleen, you got about a minute left. Okay, Kathleen.
Okay. So here's another kind of yellowish whitish. I think this was found. It was the July 12th foray, wherever we went on July 12th. So that's where that was found. I didn't take it off, but so that's that.
Meadow Park.
Was that where it was?
Meadow Park.
Is that Dr. Fair?
I have a paper next to my computer.
Okay. And then, so here's another one. This was local. This little cup, this little orange cup with all little hairs. Is that like a jelly too?
Yeah, Scutellinia.
Linear.
Okay, and then, oh, here's a nicer picture. You could see it, like all the little hairs and see the inside of it. It's like really bright orange on the inside. And then here it is, because you see like really how teeny tiny it is. What caught my eye was that it was like so bright orange.
And the eyelashes are cool.
I know, they're so adorable. I love them. Oh, and then here, oh, this is the last one. Okay, so this was actually found in the spring by the Princeton Institute woods where all the morels were. So this was like all during like morel time. These two.
Pezisa.
Probably Pezisa, but the split down the vertical split down the side reminds me of Otidia, but it's not shaped like Otidia. So it's probably Pezisa. Pezisa is more likely in the spring as well.
Yeah, that's Pezisa. Yep.
Which is sort of a giant cup fungus with the spore-bearing surface on the inside that poofs out.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Okay, John Dawson, have you, how are
Yeah,
you sounding right now?
Yeah, okay, let me try this and see if this comes up. Let me just see if I can get this to show what I want. This is not my screen, I don't think. Well, let's see. Yeah, there we go.
Ooh.
Can you see that?
Yes.
An orange thing?
Yeah.
That's Peneopsis Boxina from above. That's the same one that Luke had. This was taken some years ago in one of our Pennsylvania state parks. And then this is the same from below. And you can see the fluted stipe that it has. And I assume this is a mature stage when it's that color, but earlier it looks like that. So it hasn't yet got the fluting on the stipe. So I'm assuming that this is an earlier stage of it. But this is the same one that you had, Luke, just a larger photo of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any detail. I didn't do any microscopy on this, so I can't really comment any more on that. But it is listed on Gary Emberger's site, Fungi on Wood, and it's supposedly fairly uncommon. So when you do find it, it's a treat. Then I have just one other to show here. This is Sebacina sporozoidea, which differs from the tremellas in that it's mycorrhizal.
What's the name?
Sebacina sporozoidea.
Oh.
I got it.
Okay. I don't know.
I can spell it out for you, but
it's up in the corner. It's up on the corner on the left, Maricel.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Up here.
Up there, yeah.
There you go. I got it in there.
So that's
thanks.
Those are the other ones I have to show. Just those 4 shots.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
Okay.
Hey, sounds like Savannah is next.
Saturday, and a lot of them I found around my house today. So just to share the pictures. Okay. I'll go to 1 second, please. Save the pictures in So okay. So that's how nice and big they are, probably. Oh. And it's really gelatinous inside, and outside it's quite hairy. And I took some close-ups, and you can see the how interesting they are. Okay, just nice. And also I took the picture from underneath to see that brown color inside and hairy outside. My close-ups.
Is that maybe that same species of Auricularia that
I do
we just
I
saw?
do believe this is Auricularia auricula. I am not sure, but
No, we don't have it here.
Yeah, that's been.
Name.
Yeah, we have several new names for North American Curricularia, and none of them are the old Auricula.
And that's the surface
Oh, nice.
outside. It's really hairy, that kind of whitish surface.
Yeah, that's what reminds me of the one that we just saw a little while ago that Dorothy had shown maybe a week or so ago. It's a species I don't know. It starts with P-O-L.
Polytrichium.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that one, but this reminds me of that.
And it's very really interesting.
Hairy outer surface.
Well, polytricha means many hairs, so that might remind.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, my gosh, that's so cool.
That's interesting, because it really, when I saw them, they were all hairy. I did not even see inside that brown color. And then I kind of flipped it and I saw that it was really gelatinous. And it looks like it grows on elder tree, but this one, it's on cedar. I found that today, and it's on cedar logs, 2-year-old cedar logs. And I found a couple smaller ones today. And
are these edible like the auricula are supposed to be?
Yes, they are. I read about them that they are used in Asian cuisine a lot, and hot and sour soup uses them.
This particular species, though?
Yes. And
actually, wait a minute, can I interject there? Because we're actually probably talking about a species that we're not really sure of what this genus actually is.
Okay.
Because we're saying this could be Polytricha, but this also could be the Angiospermarum. But what I was going to say, though, is Polytricha is an Asian species that is cultivated. And Dorothy told us that she suspects that it's probably escaped from cultivation.
Oh, yes, the Polytricha.
That's what Dorothy told us a couple of weeks ago. So this is the one that they grow for hot and sour soup that escaped from cultivation. But I've yet to be able to try to really sort that out, because I see it a lot.
Yes.
I have eaten Angiospermum. I dry them out and use them the same way you would use cloud ears you get, in the import store. So they're good.
Yeah, I think they're all edible, as far as I know. They're all those auricularias.
I would think they are.
Because I think people were just eating them indiscriminately, and we're probably eating a bunch of different species. We would hear about it by now if there was a poisonous one.
Well, I read that the best way is to dry them out and then use them in the soups. And they also are considered medicinal mushrooms, so they can be used in teas, like turkey tail, like other medicinal mushrooms. And I also wanted to share with you. Okay, I'm sorry. Someone had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say they're not very good if you prepare them fresh. They have the texture is not any good. They really do need to be dried out and rehydrated.
They are known as a blood thinner.
Articularia?
Yeah, the auricularias are a blood thinner.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And since I am already on a spot, I wanted to show you some interesting turkey tail. That's something I found in the woods, and this is the log of the birch tree. And at the beginning, I was kind of I did not know what that was. And when I flipped it, oh, it's a turkey tail, but growing not up but down around that log. And what I found, the mushrooms were like this.
Oh, yeah.
And this white edge, it's the beginning of a new mushroom. It's I've been looking for them for a while already. So when you flip that mushroom, you see the white stuff, the white spores, and on the edge, you see new turkey tails growing already, this brown stuff. Oh.
The log probably got turned over at some point while they were already fairly well grown.
Actually, no, it was not. That's I know that for sure. It was not touched. I don't know why they were messed up so much that they were growing down, and then on top they start growing the right way. And
I think what Dave's saying probably has some merit. Could Marisol put in the chat like what that is usually called, geotropism?
Yeah.
They lose their directionality.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
fall off from branches, the branch falls down and it falls on the wrong side, so the mushroom is still alive, it still has nutrients on the branch, so they start growing again in the right position.
Oh,
They always have to have their pore surface facing down to release the spores. So that's why they reoriented, and Marisol had it up, geotropism it's called.
I see.
With polypores.
That's interesting. Well, thank you
I've
for
never seen it
explaining
on
that.
turkey tails like this. That's quite good.
Yeah, that's a good photograph.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I haven't seen that.
I didn't. I have many more of those. Someday maybe I will share them. It just I saw that and I thought it's a white edge. No, it's not white edge. It's already the beginning of new growth of new mushrooms.
It's turned itself upside down somehow. And like we say, it probably the branch was growing, you know, one way for most of the surface, and then it fell on the ground. Somebody kicked it on the trail, and it started growing the other way. That's a really cool picture, that one.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you for sharing, Savata.
Thank you.
All right, Penny, you are up.
I will stop sharing.
We have Penny, Liz, Dave, John and Nina, Helena, and Lacey left. If I missed anybody, put it in the chat and let me know, okay? Are you muted, Penny?
Well, I can't figure out how to make this bigger. There we go. I have no idea what this is. I took a guess and I said Ascocrini sarcoides, but I took the picture a while ago. So that's a jelly, I guess. Anybody have an idea?
That's the way that one would grow.
Okay, maybe that's what that is.
Could be. It could be.
What about it? But the color is a little wrong.
Yeah, it's a little bit dark.
Yeah, it has more purplish, pinkish, and lavender. But who knows what weather conditions it was exposed to.
Can you see that?
Negative.
No.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything now. Just I see Luke.
Okay, so what about, do you see that?
Ah, there we go.
My guess was Dicryomycitalis palmatus, but my pictures, my pictures aren't as clear as other people's. I guess that's a different one. This is in the Adirondacks in the summer. Is this, it's yellow, but I don't know if it's at all, I don't know how to go beyond that from what kind of jelly it is.
It's important what kind of wood it's growing on, whether it's deciduous, usually white birch up here, or conifer.
I don't think this is conifer. This is,
I think the Dicryomycitalis or the Dicryomycitalis grows on other than conifer, which makes me think tremella, but I'm not sure that really looks like it. Well,
sometimes tremella is pretty like very yellow like that. I mean, I'd say
yellow. It's the shape. It's the shape of the lobes.
Yeah, I've found tremella that looks like this. But I verified microscopically.
Yeah.
okay.
That doesn't look like tremella there though. That looks.
What does that look like?
Chronopinex or Dicryomycitalis, one or the other. You don't know the kind of wood, do you?
This one, you know, these are from like 10 years ago, and I didn't know as much what I was doing, so I just put all the yellow jellies in the same file. Unfortunately, I don't know what kind. The other one was that area is infested with buckthorn, so I think that was probably a buckthorn tree, which is an invasive species. But this, I don't know. That looks like pine.
Yeah, I would say that looks like a pine to me. White pine, maybe.
Yeah. So that would make it Dicryomycitalis palmatus, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Trisospermum now. What's the new name?
Yeah.
Trisospermus. Yeah, there's a new, relatively new name for that one.
Is palmatus still the species?
No, it used to be called like both names are.
Oh,
used.
I see. I got you. I understand.
Yeah.
I see your post.
So if you're looking in old books, it's under Dicryomycitalis palmatus.
Yeah, it's probably what it's going to be in older books. Definitely older books, yeah. If you use a microscope, you can separate tremella and Dicryomycitalis pretty easily by the shape of the spores.
Okay.
Yeah, and all you really need to do is lay it down on a microscope slide. And the print is a little hard to see. You usually don't get enough spores to really see a good print color. But you'll see like a little sheen on the microscope slide. And that's definitely going to be more than enough to mount. And I usually use a stain with these kind of spores for these kind of things.
What kind of stain do you use?
I'm sorry, what kind of stain?
Yeah.
I usually use Congo red.
Okay, good. Out of focus picture there. And I don't know what that is.
We're still looking at your Dicryomycitalis.
Oh, really? Oh, you can't see that?
Now stop sharing your screen and reshare them. There you go.
Okay. That was my guess, Tremella reticulata, but I don't know. This, I think this was gelatinous.
I don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it? Oh, sorry. Can you see it?
There we go. Yeah, I don't find this species, but I think that's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, it looks right. I'm just looking at a picture in a book, but
We used to find this in Stevens, climbing up a stem of some plant. I forget what it was. Dorothy might remember. I have seen it in the Adirondacks a couple of times, but only a couple in 10 years.
like at the base of
Pretty
trees.
slimy. It's pretty slimy, and it's smallish. It's not large. At first, I thought it was I thought I had found a cauliflower, whatever it's called, but you know, cauliflower mushroom.
Parasis.
Parasis.
I thought, oh, it's a sparasis, but no, never.
Yeah, it looks like I'm looking in George Barron's book, Mushrooms of North America, which actually has a pretty good section on jellies.
Okay.
It looks just like the picture they have of Tremella reticulata.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually one of the books that I use a lot of.
That's a good one for jellies. Has a lot of pictures in there. There's another one in here.
What book?
The George Barron book, Mushrooms.
Oh, I have it. Yes, yes. Okay.
There's another picture in here, Tremella concrescens, and that shows that one growing up around grass. I was just thinking of what Susan was saying.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to see it growing up the stem, I think, of bracken fern.
Oh.
That's a different species. That's concrescens.
Concrescens?
Yeah, it says enveloping and clinging to living plant parts.
Can you see that? Oh, that's the same thing. Let's see. Can you see that?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, screen. That?
Oh, okay, I used to know this.
Tremelodendron.
Tremelodendron pallidum?
Yeah, it's something else now, though. I think it's Sebacina schweinitzii now.
Yeah, Sebacina schweinitzii.
Oh, wow.
It's harder. It's really like tough.
Yeah, yeah, really flexible.
Yep.
Flexible, but
yeah.
very resilient.
Tremelodendron pallidum, is that what you said?
That's the older name.
I'm typing it now.
It's Schweinitzii, that's the new name.
Man, I keep emailing or typing people.
Yeah, I think the genus is now Sebacina, isn't it?
Yes.
And
I think.
the Adirondacks?
Yes, these are all Adirondacks.
Okay.
But we see this a lot down here too.
Yeah, I don't see it up here in the Adirondacks that much. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I see it covering the ground in some places and in midsummer, usually hardwood areas, oak areas.
No, but you may be talking about Sebacina incrustans.
Yeah, I think it's this.
It's different. This one grows like in a lump, in a little rosette, like con.
Okay, well maybe it is. Maybe I've been calling naming Schweinitzii. I'll have to look that. What's that species name? Marisol, that other one? I'll look it up.
The other one is Sebacina incrustans.
Crustans?
Incrustans.
Oh, incrustans. Okay.
Something like that.
I'll look it up.
That's all I have.
Great. Thank you very much, Penny. Okay, we're getting to some from Liz.
Luke, do you want me to just try to pull up my iNat, or do you want to try to go back and forth? I didn't realize I should just send you the link.
Well, you can try it. If you have a hard time, I'll jump in.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see. Okay, might work.
This is the guy with the mushroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see this one?
Yeah.
This thing I found a couple of years ago, right down the road from my house at the creek during morel season. And I just thought it was flux or something like that. And Nina and I were talking about it on Saturday, and I thought, let me go back and see if I can find that picture. I put it up on iNaturalist, and Sigrid identifies it as Fusicola marasmoides, but it almost looks like sap, but it was squishy, and it was on, I think on a shagbark hickory. We've been hit by some pretty bad mini tornadoes, and a lot of the trees down there just snapped. But it was pretty cool. I didn't have a working microscope at that point, so.
What is this stuff? Is it a basidio?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Okay, so apparently the sap comes out of the tree and is attacked by several organisms.
Mhm.
It's a mixture of few species there.
I don't know. I think I was thinking that's what flux is, but this cigarette identified it as this fusicola.
See, it is what you're saying, but it's a group.
That's still the same thing.
It's several things working together.
Okay.
Like opportunistic thing. And the orange color comes from carotene, the same thing present in carrots.
From carotene. Oh, interesting.
Carotene. Oh, yeah. Because I found it too in a tree that was recently cut, and the sap was coming out, and it was white and orange, and it was all like gelatinous and like dripping.
So this is one of those resinoceous?
No. This is something else.
This is something else. Okay.
I'm looking at Wikipedia right now, and they're saying Fusarium marisoides is a species in the Hypocreales, so it's an ASCO.
Okay.
And that would be Sigrid's department.
Yeah, she's good at ASCOs, that's for sure. I'll have to look into it more. I just realized that when I was looking for things to send to you. But it was pretty cool and visible from a long way away. Not too many morels that day, but some other things. Let's see if I can go back. This one, I have real questions about, and my scope is up at John Simon's getting a tune-up right now. So it, cool little things, another one of those little orange jellies on decorticated conifer. And they almost look like little buttons, but you can see there's like a little rudimentary stalk to them. And looking in my books, didn't find much of anything, but on Myco Quebec, it seemed to fit the description for Dicryomycitalis stellatus. And I think on Saturday, John Berghout found the Dicryomyces capitalis that's kind of looks very similar, but it has a white base going into the wood. And this didn't. This was all the way through. But another one of those little orange spots. And a lot of Dicryomyces out there. I have to say, when I find these jellies, usually it's after it rains. I'm sure they're probably there, but they really don't get hydrated. They're not nearly as pretty on days that they're not. Does anybody have any suggestions other than that?
No, except that I have an observation here, and I called it the same thing. I found it on holly. Dicryomyces stellatus. And
I think I have a stellatus also. These Dicryomyces, the spore sizes vary quite a bit from one species to another. Sometimes you can tell from the spore dimensions.
And there is also another species called Variiformis that looks kind of like this, so maybe save it and for the microscopic work.
You should see it. I'll tell you, I brought it home and it was nice and wet, and just sitting in my laundry room for a day, it's like shriveled up into nothingness. But I guess you can rehydrate these guys.
I bet if you spray it with some water, it'll come right back.
Okay. Okay, that was kind of a fun one. And then I've been surprised nobody did these guys.
Oh yeah, I meant to put one of them in. I forgot.
Yeah, and they're so fun to get. And this I found up at in Lock Haven, along right up from the campus. A whole bunch of them, and they were in a pretty wet area. That was a pretty dry time of year in August when we were there. But this had a little stream running through it.
So were they yellow and then they turned brown?
I guess some of them were green too. There were a couple of the.
These look a little older. Yeah, that's a good picture of nice, young, basic, plain ones. Yeah. These are real common in New Jersey. Don't you find these a lot every year still?
Not where I am, down in the middle. I get them more further north. Like if I go up above Baldpate, I find them more up in those woods, but not down here. We're in coastal plain.
I used to be in Somerset, Hunterdon, and Warren counties, and they used to be all over the place.
That's where I find them when I head up toward my daughters in Flemington.
Morris County. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We find them in Franklin Parker, and I find them in Smithville too.
Oh, you get them in Smithville too? They're pretty fun. I always get excited when I see them. Okay, hold on. I have a couple of other ones.
Well, and then aren't they nicknamed jelly babies, which is also fun?
Yeah.
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 Julius.
What's the one with the dark green cap? I forgot. I have an observation of it, but I forgot about it, and I didn't.
Isn't it Laotia lubrica?
Lubrica is the yellow one that we just saw.
Viscosa.
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 Viscosa. Yeah. Okay.
Viscosa. Yeah, I actually have a picture of that.
Yeah, I have an observation of it, but I forgot about it.
And
Oh, nice.
this one is fun too. This one I found out at Clayton Park. That's like my go-to park. It's about 10 minutes from my house. So it was kind of growing underneath on the, not underneath, but right on the side of a log. I broke another piece away from the side. And this is what it looked like. The Trembling Crust, which I thought was such a great name, but.
Marulius now instead of Phlebia?
Yep. That's what INAT gives me, and they're usually pretty good about things. We're running low on time. I have one more I could show, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we can keep going until there's what, there's like 6 more people. So, I mean, we'll get through everyone. As long as people don't mind, we're going to run over a little past 9. We'll try to get everyone a turn for sure.
This used to be the Phlebia.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
seen that.
Stearium. It's a parasite on Stearium. Wow. Oh, this wasn't mine. I pulled up somebody else's, but we've been finding this like crazy. We found it at Horseshoe Bend. We found it at Chestnut Branch. It's been a really popular mushroom this year for whatever reason, but
yeah, that's something we haven't really mentioned here tonight. Like, aren't a lot of these jellies, aren't they parasitic on a lot of other mushrooms?
I don't know. This one I know is on Stearium, or it is related to Stearium. I don't know if it's parasitic on it, but
I know Mesenterica is parasitic on something. I forget whether
Stearium or Peneophyra. One of them is Peneophyra related, the tremella.
Yeah, I think it might be parasitic on a lichen. I'm not sure about that.
I know Tremella aurantium is parasitic on an Stearium, one of these Steariums.
Yeah, it's probably Stearium.
Yeah, it is, and that will give them the clue for identification because it's always present, the Stearium.
Well, a lot of times I find tremella and there's no Stearium that you see, but apparently it's parasitic on the mycelium that's, buried in the substance.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll see the two things together, the fruit bodies of the Stearium as well.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think, I'm going into everybody else's observations, but the leafy brain, but I think Susan had an observation of this too. I have one on there, but that was another kind of fun one. All right. That's good for me. Thank you. And
thanks, Liz.
So you think that that's Stellatus, that is a Dicryomyces. I'm going to try when I get my scope back to look that one up.
That's what the name I've used for one that looked really similar.
Okay.
Certainly wouldn't be surprised if somebody told me I was wrong, but.
Okay. Thank you.
Seemed good. It seemed like a good fit to me.
That was the best I could do after hours.
Thank you very much, Liz. Okay, I'm going to jump back in here and let's see, Dave. So let's say, Dave, let's pick like 5 or 6 of your best.
Yeah, let's
ones
skip
here.
some of these. Oh, that's yours, Luke.
Yeah, I'm working my way.
Yeah, we can skip. But I think I have a Dicryomyces stellatus, and I think I have spores for. Yeah, there it is, the second one down here.
Stellatus. Dicryomyces stellatus.
Yeah, so I think I have the spores here. Now the spores all look the same for these Dicryomyces. They all look like little insect larvae or something, and they're septate. But the sizes are different. So that looks very much like what we just saw.
Does.
Yeah, that looks just like what Liz showed. And I did measure spores on these, and the spore dimensions fit. what you're supposed to get for Stellatus. So these are a little bit shorter and stubbier, kind of. The Q, the quotient of length to width, is a smaller number than for some of the other Dicryomyces.
The book said they were more common on conifer too, that you can find it on either, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this was on. I may have written it down here. I'm not sure. Did I write anything there in the observation?
No.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Those are big spores.
Yeah, some of these are like mid-range size spores for Dicryomyces. Some of them have spores that go up into the mid to high 20s.
All right, what else do I look at here?
Oh, this Chronopinex Spatularia is pretty cool.
Did you use a stain when you did those spores?
Excuse me?
Did you stain those spores that you just?
Yeah, I use Congo red.
You almost always use Congo red?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily turn them red. It's just a little easier to see. If you mount these kind of like white or highline spores in KOH, a lot of times you can hardly see them. So
Dave, you put a little bit of Congo red on and then you flush some water through there to get it out. Otherwise, I can't see anything with just plain Congo red.
I use, diluted Congo red. I dilute my Congo red that I use for mounting spores and
that's easier.
Tissue.
Okay.
Yeah, I dilute. I'm not sure what ratio I use, but it's pretty well diluted.
I
These
do
are
what you
coming
just
out
said.
of a fence post. This Dicryomycitalis, which is Spatularia, I think is the species.
Just tells
it's coming
you that
out of
the
a fence
is
post. It's
conifer.
painted. They're growing on that, right on top. Right on top of the post. It's painted and they're growing on it. So let's, I guess they're coming out of this. Oh, there they are, right on the board there, the cross
Dave,
board. Yeah.
It's so funny because do not enter and they did enter.
Yeah, they're not obeying. Yeah.
Did you enter, Dave?
Very carefully. When no one was looking. It's a road in Hickory Run that's close to vehicles.
Okay.
But it's actually a really good mushroom spot, so I enter often on foot. Yeah, so I just thought that was pretty cool. I didn't even do any micro on those. That's a pretty old observation. It just was a pretty cool one, I thought. The one that I got help with, we already saw that a few times.
Off of something like the Spatularia, do you just lay them on their side on a?
Yeah, just lay it down on a microscope slide. Maybe put a cup over it or something. But I don't like to put a cup completely over a specimen because if there's no air exchange at all, the stuff rots sometimes, especially if it's moist. So I will straddle a cup over the edge of a surface so there's like a little air exchange.
You want to look at some of these down here that we haven't seen?
Yeah, pick some stuff we haven't seen, sure.
Yeah, so you have both of these, you have these auricularias.
Yeah, and then there's one that I didn't know was on grapevine. It's probably Angiospermarum.
Okay, so this one.
This one on pine. Yeah, see, this is the one that grows on conifer, and they're calling this one, I believe, Americana now. I found this on pine. There's a place I look for Morels that's got a lot of elm trees, and there's some pines mixed in. So this was on some kind of small 2-3 needle pine, maybe red pine. Probably red pine.
She's very glabrous, right? Not much hair.
Yeah, not a lot of hairs on those, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I find something very similar to that up here where I am, and it's always on balsam fir.
Okay, it may have been a fir. I'm not sure. I was looking for Morels. I wasn't really focused in on identifying the conifer. I just grabbed the stick and took it home.
That's another one though that it comes out when it rains, its spores, dries out, and then when it rains again and poofs up, it throws spores again all summer. One time I watched a cluster.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget.
See,
who
that's
told me.
probably up in the Adirondacks. I think that's maybe more likely because it doesn't get quite as hot and your nights stay a little cooler maybe.
Yeah, oh yeah, but still, you won't even see them when it's dried up
Okay, I got
very
you.
often. I just happen to always go over the same trail, so I know where to look for them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dave, do you look for morels under conifers?
No, the conifers just happened. That's what I was saying. There just happened to be some conifers near this area where there's a lot of elms.
Okay.
Where I go every spring for morels. Now, I never found, people find morels under white pine sometimes. And I know somebody who found morels in an opening near spruce trees. They have yellow morels, like probably Morchella americana. But I have not personally found morels associated with conifers. So this is probably elm here, I think. An old elm with most of the bark missing, and they look the same. I mean, they look almost the same as those Americana, but on hardwood they say it's Angiospermarum. So
yeah, I guess for the longest time they called these all what auricularia, and then they
yeah for the longest, all the old field guides.
And then they noticed.
I take them home and dry them out. Like I said, I put them in stir fries and soups and things. So they have these like hot dog shaped spores.
Right. I guess what happened is they were always called auricularia, and then people started realizing that there were some growing on conifer and some growing on deciduous woods, and they realized that I guess they were subtly different microscopically, I think.
There might be, I'm not sure.
So they started calling them like the deciduous unit and the conifer unit. And then just like in the past year or two, they did some DNA studies on them, and that's how they really split them in these two new names.
Yeah, I think Brian Looney was part of that team.
Yeah,
Greg Thorne did a lecture several years ago. I think it was in Rimouski, and some of us were lucky enough to be there. And he actually was the one that really pointed out, because he was working in Newfoundland, I think it was, wherever that Newfoundland foray is. Anyway, he got samples of the original Auricularia auricula and did some DNA work, and he found that whatever we have here in the United States isn't the same as what's in Europe. So that most of these really have to get different names.
Yeah, he's the one who he came down and spoke for us a couple of years ago.
Greg Thorne?
Greg Thorne, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he's the one, he told us to look up, if we want the most recent stuff, to look up Looney, which you just said, Dave. So you just Google Auricularia Looney et al. Et al.
How do you spell it? L-O? Looney?
I'll put it in the chat. I can't do it right now. Looney.
Okay.
And that's what I've been using. I think you can find the papers open access. And they have really good descriptions.
Yeah, I think I got that online, that paper.
Okay. Then how about the pseudohydnum? We haven't seen that one.
We haven't seen that yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the biggest one I ever found. These are always on hemlock. We have a lot of hemlock around here.
Just one?
There were probably a few others, but that was the really big one. So, yeah.
It's not Pseudohymnum gelatinosum anymore for the American species.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that Elsa Villenga did some kind of study. I sent her material, but I never heard anything.
Oh.
So they find these on the West Coast too, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're worldwide.
So they must grow on something else besides hemlock over there.
Here they call them conifer.
Conifers, yeah, it's different kinds of conifers.
Yeah, it's different conifers.
In the white pine, I don't have all conifers.
I have a really good picture of this too.
I would love to find that. I've never seen it up close and personal.
If you do a zoom, the spines came out pretty good in this photo.
Yeah, that looks great.
With the tooth fungi, but it's not related to anything else with spines.
That's why it's a fake hydnum.
Pseudo head number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really cool. Okay. And I saw you this Dr. Fair on here. We should see that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I found this a few times. Not very often. The first time I found it, I thought it was this thing that we saw before. Who showed this Sebacina? That's what I thought it was. But this is more like big leafy folds. The Sebacina is a little more, well, how would I say? Well, the growth form's a little different. Yeah, so this was the first time I found this, and I posted it on Mushroom Observer, and then someone corrected me. So that's how I learned it. It's a big, they're pretty big. These get pretty big. You know, like, I'm not sure how big this one was, probably at least 6 inches across. Yeah, and it's pretty much got that slippery jelly feel to it. I think that's the way it was actually growing. Yeah, that's an institute.
What kind of wood was it on?
I don't know. It was a very old log, no bark, and it was sort of out in the open on the edge of a field. Maybe it was very old wood, and it wasn't really all that rotten. So I'm guessing maybe it was oak. But that's just a guess.
Great. So Dr. Fair Pululahuana.
Yeah, that sounds like if you find it in Hawaii or something. You know,
I read that this is actually a lake. Pululahuana is a lake in South America, and that's where it was identified from.
Oh, okay.
Lake
Alrighty.
Pululahuana.
Yeah.
So what it's doing all the way up here, I'm not really sure. But okay.
Yeah, I've only found it a few times. When you see it, though, you sort of can't miss it.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else on here we should look at before we close you out?
We've already seen the Ascocorny. No, we're good.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks,
There is a picture of tremula spores, though. The one tremula, I did show some spores if anyone's interested. Seeing the spores, they're really a lot. But go ahead, move on.
Okay.
Move on to somebody else.
Yeah, let's get to
You can see the pictures of the spores on Mushroom Expert. Michael Quo has good pictures of the tremula spores.
Get to John and Nina.
What? Oh.
Okay, John and Nina.
Okay.
So these are Sebacina and crustans. We were talking about that.
Yeah, I know you were. Okay, Sebacina is like we talked before. It's mycorrhizal, and what's interesting is it's the same genus that saved the orchid made orchids. You can buy orchids in the store now, and you they had trouble growing them at the beginning because they didn't realize that orchids need a Sebacina to grow. It's part, and it's not exactly look like this, but it's the same genus. So it's kind of interesting. So now you can buy orchids and you can buy orchid plants in the store, and it's because of the genus. What is happening? Okay, that's the Crustus. This was photographed by Stevens in 2018, but we didn't go to Stevens this year because it was a madhouse. There were too many people. Okay, next.
No, 1 second, okay, John, Nina.
Okay.
Okay, there you go, Nina. Go ahead.
Okay, the next one, yeah. Okay, this is the what you saw before, except that this has been attacked by a atrovirensis, right? Is that what it's called? So it gives it this kind of greeny looking. No, not that one.
Okay, sorry.
So that's the Laotia lubrica, but sometimes it looks sort of greeny because it's attacked by this parasite.
Ah. So is the parasite covering the entire fruiting body?
The little, yeah, it sometimes the people think it's the other one, but it's not. It's this one because it turns it sort of greenish looking. You can see some of them are attacked more than others. That's Coryne, Corona atrovirens. What?
You guys see the name? It's right here at the top.
Yeah.
Atrovirens.
Yeah, that. Okay. You can skip the slimo because we'll probably do slimo another day.
Okay.
But then I got Dicryomycitalis. Let's skip that one. The next one, the Dicryomycitalis. Yeah, that's close up, and then I have one where it's further up. It has that little white foot. Not that. There, no. That one. See, that's what it's tiny, and I don't know how you guys get spores. I took it and I cut it, and the thing started. It's like cutting rubber bands, and I took it and I smashed it and put water on it, and I did see a tuning fork, and I saw things that looked like slugs. I didn't realize there was spores, and then there's all these hairy things too. Oh, I had a terrible time on. I don't know. So anyway, that this is what I had at Dicryomycitalis capitatus, and we found at Franklin Parker Saturday. Okay, and then let's see. I had that weird thing. Okay, this thing is not a fungus, and I put it on because it looks like a gel. You would think it was a jelly of fungus of some sort, but it's not. It's bacteria, and it's a nostoc, cyanobacteria. NOSTOC. We found this at Lock Haven with Dave on the pre Nymphorae.
Does this algae become lichenized?
I have no idea.
I think.
And it's green by itself.
Yeah, it's a cyanobacteria.
Right. I found this in Amico Island. Look, it is bursting through on the ground in the island.
Right. And what I'm saying is that when this combines with an asco, a particular asco, it becomes a lichenized lichen.
Yeah, I think that's the conclusion we came to back then, because I found this when we went back for the Nymphorae, and I think it's some sort of like lichen with a lot of algae in it or something, or
it's the algae or the cyanobacteria that's in lichen. Because they always say that those organisms can survive without the fungus. You know, those lichenized algae and cyanobacteria can survive without the fungus. But I've never actually seen that.
Oh, I remember now. I remember, Nina. We were in Bald Eagle State Park, I think. It was all over the ground. There was like tons of it. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I had no idea what it was then. I don't think any of us did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's the last one. Okay, that one was one Patricia found at Horseshoe Bend. And she's the one who did the work on it, and it's actually Tremella mesenterica, but it's the animals of the imperfect stage of the Tremella mesenterica.
Okay.
She used to be called something else, but we don't pay any attention to that because we don't use animal names anymore.
Formomyces auranticantius.
Right.
All right, cool. If we have time, if you guys want to see at the end, we'll let these other guys go first. If you guys want to see, I have some photographs of this that I've saved. Not my photographs, but people have been posting this on Facebook a lot lately.
Oh, good. It's probably better than that. But anyway, I thought it was interesting just because it's another stage of the Trunella mesenterica.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you, John and Nina. Okay. So Helena, we're going into overtime here, guys. We're
Hi.
plus 9, but
Hello. I'll
I
keep
want
it
everyone to
short
get a
and sweet.
chance.
Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this this I thought was really pretty. I identified it. I don't know if it's correct. Calocina carina.
Calocera, yeah.
Calicera, is it?
Calocera, right?
Yeah.
Calocera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calocera.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's a really
And
nice
this is another.
photo of
This is another shot of. Yeah, I was really delighted when I saw that. It was pretty exciting. Let's see what else. This Exidia glandulosa.
I think it's Crenata.
Oh yeah.
Glandulosa is really just a globby looking thing. Yeah, see how there's like individual ear-like things? That's a Crenata growth form.
Okay. That's
you can
good
tell
to
from
know.
the
Thank you.
spores, I think. One of them, I think it's glandulosa, has tiny little white bumps that you might need a loop to look at. I think that's Crenata that has that. But it might be this other one. I think it's the other one. I think it's Crenata. But that's one thing you can.
Interesting. Okay, I will check that out. Thank you. This, I believe we've looked at a couple times already tonight, unless I'm incorrect. Is this the Sebacina?
No, Telephora.
Telephora vialis.
Mm-hmm.
Could you type that in the chat?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It used to be fairly common in New Jersey. I never see it up where I am now in the Adirondacks.
See, it's a
yeah,
dye,
huh?
The dyer, isn't it? The vialis?
Telephora, some of them are, but not this one. This is what we call a dye dud.
Oh, okay.
I did try it once because there was a lot once that I had years ago. It's usually kind of smells bad too.
Does this change its appearance markedly as it ages?
No.
You know, I was watching these. I think they got darker. They got a lot darker as they got older.
Yeah.
They were. This was New Jersey, in Moss, and I was watching it through. I think this was the summer, and it seemed to get darker.
Yeah,
as it aged.
The new growth is kind of a lemon color, and the lower part is darker.
The lower kind of outer surface is kind of a pinky beige brown. Remember right?
I found it in Princeton with Mike and Lauren.
I get them in Washington's Crossing and Ted Stiles.
Somebody's note about the smell is somewhat correct.
Cat urine.
Yeah.
Okay, what else you got, Helena?
Interesting. Okay, just one more. Oh no, actually, that was the side view. Sorry, I dug that one up. And I think we've looked at this one already, right? No, we haven't. The tremolodendron.
Coral mushroom. This is a coral mushroom.
Ramariopsis quincei, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very white and it tends to stain pinkish.
Yeah, it gets a little pink in age.
Quincei. Cool. Okay. Thank you for those for helping me with the IDs on those.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, that's all I've got. I will exit. Let the next person go.
Thanks.
Did you spell that Mariopsis in the chat, someone?
Yeah.
It wrote Ramariopsis.
Oh crap.
Okay.
I don't see the chat because I think I know how to spell that one.
I wrote it. Ramariopsis.
Oh, somebody's got it. Okay. Oh.
Not seeing it.
Do I do this? Oh. Oh, I see.
While they're working on that, Lacey, you want to get yourself queued up?
We've actually already, can you see my screen? Or did I just close it? There we go.
Nope, it's coming.
Almost.
Tremella mesenterica.
Yeah, we had already been through it. So yeah. So thank you. It was just a
You're welcome. Good. You learned one, right?
yeah,
Good
absolutely.
picture.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing.
Good picture.
Adrian?
Yes. Hang on, let me figure this out real quick. Why does it think I'm driving? I'm so sorry. This is my very first Zoom ever. Apt to speak. I had a thing where I could share my photos just before, and now I can't share. It's all right. I can. I'll just. I can share them on Facebook, and we'll talk about them on Facebook. Sorry,
Okay.
I don't think I can figure it out right now.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks.
Sorry. Thank you for your patience. Yeah.
Bianca, you want to go?
Sure. Thank you. Okay, so here it comes. Let me know if you see it.
Oh, wow.
So
This.
Sparasis. Sparasis.
Sparasis, boy, those are nice ones.
So my hand is touching, my hand is touching the mushroom. That's how big this was.
Yeah.
That's typical. The one in the upper left is really maybe a little bigger than usual, but these are usually big like this.
Okay. It was very buggy. Otherwise, I would have cut into it to be able to show the view. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, yeah. I bet it's still there. This was let's see, what day was this? Oh, it was this year in August. So yeah, it's probably gone now.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah. So I had a couple turkey tails I wanted to show real quick too. These were actually quite gorgeous in color.
They're not turkey tails. That's a
False turkey tail.
Ah, okay.
You have to turn it over and look for pores.
Okay.
If you cannot see any pores, even with some minor magnification, then it's false turkey tail, which would be Sterium, Ostria, or Ostrium.
No, Austria. Oh, it used to, yeah.
Okay. I think this was the underside. Oh, it's a terrible picture. I apologize. I thought they were pores. Oh, man. Oh, well. But isn't that gorgeous? I just had to show.
Stereum complicatum.
That's complicatum there.
Sterium complicatum.
Very common.
Amazing. Okay. I thought they were the same. All right. Because they were on the same tree. All right. Yeah, that's. Just wanted to show that big one for today.
Thanks, Bianca. Okay, and then the last person, Lila, had one she wanted to show.
Okay.
And then we have to decide what's for next week.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Get the right screen up here. All right. So I just wanted to show this. I think, I don't know if this falls into jelly or not, but I thought these are just really
rubbery.
Yeah.
Cool.
I find the word jelly is kind of, vague, right?
They feel like jelly when you touch them. They're very rubbery.
Mm-hmm.
And just beautiful on dead oak.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a great picture, by the way.
Thank you.
So those are called Bulgaria. What's the species on it?
Inquinans.
Inquinans, I think.
Inquinans, yeah.
So what is it? Is it an ASCO? Is it a cup? What is it?
They're Ascos, aren't they?
I think this is an Asco.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're Ascos.
Yeah, because the surface, yeah.
They're like these black rubbery kind of cup-like things that just grow on wood. What are they usually like? Maybe like an inch across? Are they that big?
If that.
No, usually about a quarter to a half inch.
Half inch, okay.
Yeah, small.
Pretty big. I would say some of them were a half inch or bigger. I should have, well, they're on the side of a log, so it's kind of hard to stick a coin there, I guess, but. And different stages of them, they had different kinds of appearances. Like this one, I think, was drying out maybe and getting cracked. Here are some kind of like almost like a cup over here on the right. And this one on the left is almost like it's been shaved off or jaggedly cut off. It's just very different. Not
Maybe
terribly well.
something was munching on it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
What part of the state did you say you found them in?
These are here, North Jersey.
Because we found them at Stokes this year too, but I never see them down south.
Yeah, I think one observation was nearby, and I think, I forget where the other one was, not too far away.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Lila.
You're welcome.
All right. And is there anybody here that did not get to share any jelly fungus? Your last chance.
Well, we're already over time, so.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys want to do next week?
Amanitas? They're not out right now, but they're pretty fun.
So wait a minute. So somebody suggested boletes, but I think you should wait on boletes until after January 15th because Renee LaBouffe is doing a lecture on boletes on January 15th, which is in just a couple of weeks. So why don't we wait till after she does her lecture before we do boletes?
January 15th or February 15th?
I think it's January 15th.
Oh, I think I missed that.
Which is in 10 days. I just found out about it too. Somehow I missed the emails too. But anyway, well, we agreed to it apparently, so she's coming.
She's doing boletes?
Boletes of Eastern North America, yep. If you scroll down to the bottom of the Taxonomy Tuesday announcements, I have all the lectures that are coming up.
Okay.
I don't know, Amanita's fine with me. I'm not.
Amanita sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do it.
There's a lot
That's
of
going to take 2
There
sessions.
should be tons out now.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. How about we do this? Because there's a lot of, everybody's going to have some pictures of Amanita. How about we all agree to pick our 3 best Amanita observations? Whether
That's a good idea.
Whether the
Just
best,
don't
or
eat
the
'em.
best photographs or what we would consider like the least seen,
Mhm.
or however we want to, whatever we personally consider the best. We all
Okay.
just pick out the 3 best ones.
Look, yeah, it says that John Dawson's going to be the day after.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that is correct.
And
What did you say? What did you say that I don't know?
Oh, John Dawson's going to be the day after on the 16th. So we'll
Yep.
have meetings 2 days. ago.
Oh, and the 16 is John Dawson?
Yep.
And then the 19 is Alden Dirks.
No, that's in February. Just look at the announcements. All the dates are in there. Just so everyone understands what's going on is there's about 5 or 6 clubs now, and we're all working together to get speakers. So there's a lot of speakers coming quickly. So there's just a lot of lectures happening.
Look, can you send me some info because I don't know where to find it? Please.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of the announcements. If you just scroll all the way down, they're there.
On the New Jersey Mycological page?
No, on the email. I'll send it to you.
Okay, please, I don't have it.
It's on Luke's, it's on the Zoom email.
Yeah, the Zoom
Just
email.
go over to the right and go to
Because
the
I
bottom.
don't get a Zoom email. I only go to the same link that I got at the beginning of the Zoom meetings.
I
posted it in chat.
Thanks.
And I did not get the email this week either.
Okay. Are you a current member
Yeah.
for 2021? Because I have.
Ooh, I am not. Oh my God, I didn't pay. I didn't pay.
Yeah, if you guys didn't renew your membership for 2021, you're here illegally.
Oh my goodness.
That's why you didn't get the email.
Okay.
Igor is very fastidious about keeping
Oh
our
my
stuff up
gosh.
to date. So
Okay.
so okay. Well, I'm gonna let everyone go.
Don't
and
forget,
next
John.
week we're gonna
John
have
is
our
in the morning. Sorry. John Dawson is in the morning. Don't forget that. It's not in the evening.
correct.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
See the other one next week with our 3 best amanitas.
Okay.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Nice meeting y'all.
Thank
You too.